Welcome to this week's Aiding Your Games. Today we're going to talk about treasure dumps, treasures and rewards for your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaigns. Let's jump into it. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're looking to hit our goal of 25 subscribers by the end of January. We can only do it with your support. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications if you want to see when we post new content, and make sure to share to help us grow. Your party has successfully defeated the foes, infiltrated the opponent's lairs, cleared out the dungeons below the keep, even cleared out the sewers beneath the tavern. Now it's time to start looking at their rewards. Every player worth their salt is going to look at opportunities to loot the bodies, search for secret rooms, find treasure hoards, amass a wealth, and be able to have at their disposal funds, magic items, treasures that are tangible and have in-game benefits, as well as opportunities for them to continue their exploits across your realms. So how do you start in assigning the treasure that your players will receive? Well, the Dungeon Master Guide, starting on page 136 through 139, really has well-built tables that disseminate by CR rating what treasures your players will encounter on their opponents. And while I highly recommend following the tables as a good starting point, it's really important to start thinking about how those treasures are doled out in the game. For instance, half of the tables talk about individual treasure and the other half talk about treasure hoards. As your players are overcoming individual monsters who are not in their lair, maybe it's a raiding party of goblins who are trying to overtake the caravan the PCs are sworn to protect. At this point, it's really easy that each of the goblins will have a bit of treasure based off the individual treasure guides. If they've infiltrated that same goblin pack's lair, the hoard of the goblins will be found on the hoard tables. But rather than just following the guides and rolling the dice to determine how much treasure the party has acquired, it can be very rewarding for you as a DM as well as your players to spend a little bit more time in those treasure dumps, looking at how those enemies who are carrying that treasure could acquire those. Let's go back to the goblins attacking a caravan and having a lair nearby as an example. It's very possible, if the goblins are raiding caravans regularly, that they'll have coins and gems and treasures that are listed on those guides, and that you'll find those both on the goblins individually as well as in their lair. However, if our story arc is looking at something grander than just that area, why not sprinkle in some more opportunities for the players to create storytelling opportunities? If your table is more focused on role-playing and storytelling rather than the mechanics of the game, acquiring levels and proceeding in character development into a more mechanical opportunity for ascending levels and clearing pathways, look at how some of those treasures can be converted into real goods. Maybe it's a case of spices that's valued at the same treasure level. This again could tie into the moving caravan story really well. If the characters who come across that treasure find a crate full of seasonings with a label inside for a select distributor, and they return those goods, that could be a great plot hook for them to expand beyond just that caravan protection duty. This could bring in some fantastic opportunities to bring in some very unique and colorful NPCs, and, as mentioned, have some plot hooks that can lead into bigger and bigger items. Perhaps that simple case of seasonings is destined to go to the king, who is unaware that there are any problems along the roads. By investigating it with his NPCs and his council, it could be determined that something is pushing the goblins to attack those caravans, cutting off their regular supplies, or even emboldening them to make a move against the kingdom. This is a great way to quickly escalate items and offer more storytelling along the roads, and offer more storytelling opportunities at your table. With loot that the PCs find, if it's never too much and they have to continually look for opportunities to increase their wealth, whether it's to buy better arms and armor or work on a hold that they want to have as their base of operations, following the tables and charts can be a fantastic way to dole it out slowly and evenly and make sure that they don't get too rich, too powerful, too quick, so that the progression really feels well earned and well deserved. And by spending a little bit of time looking at the charts in your session pre-planning, you're able to bring in elements of both past stories and lay seeds for future stories, providing plot hooks for your characters, even if they don't ever chase every plot hook down, is a great way to both recycle ideas that you've used in the past, as well as recycle ideas that possibly you had planned, but the party did not venture forth on those plans and they're still unexplored, allowing you to circle back into earlier story ideas, themes, characters, and NPCs is a great way to really breathe life into your party, especially if you're looking at a condensed area. As the party re-meets individuals that they have in the past, or areas even, it brings a new level of life to your game world. If you go to the same corner store every week and you don't recognize the faces, it doesn't really seem as real. By having them bump into characters over and over again, it adds a further dimension of realism into your escapist hobby, as well as allows you opportunities to develop those characters further and provide more meat to your story. However your game table plays, as a GM, never look at treasure dumps just as an opportunity to reward the characters for their jobs well done. Look at it as an opportunity for you to further weave more stories, reutilize stories that you were unable to explore, and tease your characters with more opportunity for more treasure in the future. Treasure dumps don't have to be static. Make them dynamic, make them impactful to the game world, to the NPCs of your game world, and make them well earned by your PCs.